Alright guys, listening to Vol, here I am in my first War Machine Hordes final, and it's up against Chris Parkin, who managed to beat me in my very first War Machine tournament back in Call to Arms last year. I must say that the game that we're playing here is on a very, very special wargaming table designed by the guys in Hamilton. As you can see, it's like a Signar dock. You can see the big Signar logo, and the sort of diagonal corners of the tables are actually these sections of ships actually docking here at the Signar port, and on the port itself there are different barrels and so forth, so very, very cool. You can play it radial, going up the dock and down the dock, which is a fun way of actually looking at it, but it's just shallow water next to the ships, and the ramps are just normal terrain, and everything else is pretty much just concealment and cover and so forth, so very, very cool table indeed. Unfortunately, though, I'm playing Menoth, and it's Legion that I'm up against with Saeryn, and although I like the table visually, I don't particularly like the table in terms of the heavy amount of obstructions there, because all of his stuff just flies over and kills me, and I've got to navigate my jacks around the cover in a very, very awkward and cumbersome way. His Saeryn list includes 3 Raptors, he's got 2 of the small guys, the Shredders and the Harrier, and he's got a Forsaken, and obviously Saeryn's no picnic, but the saving grace here is that his feet will only really have significant impact on, the 2 heavies, and if I can find some way around that, then I should be onto a winner, because my list is pretty nasty as well, as we've seen over the duration of this little tournament. So second photo here shows you his Raptors going down the right, heading out into the flank, and Saeryn in the centre with her smaller buddies and the heavies onto the left. Going to the right, to the next photo, pSeverius gets the first turn, moves up, puts down all 3 of his upkeeps as he usually does, and everybody running as far forward as they can, just to try and actually get around the terrain and actually have a game out in the open where I'm more likely to sort of have some shooting options and so forth. But we'll spend all the focus here. He's not in threat range for anything, so I should be okay to get the game going. Next photo, his Raptors choose to run all the way over to this edge of the zone here. When I told him that he couldn't actually use his light cav movement, he decided to actually just pull them back a bit and not clump them so close together. So, he decided just to spread them out a bit. But the plan here is just to move across and either ashes to ashes them or charge with the blessing, either or. And if I can eliminate that threat early, that should allow my choir to stay in the game for quite a long time. So next photo, attempt that. What's happened here is the Avatar has moved over into within 8 inches of the Angelius, and he's put down Gaze. What I really, really like about the situation is that the other beast is a Scythian with no ranged attack. So in order for him to get rid of Vision, which I've now switched from the Reckoner over to the Avatar and got rid of Defender's Ward, if the Angelius shoots me, he won't be able to charge and do the armor-piercing attack. But if he does charge and do the armor-piercing attack, Vision will expire and the Avatar won't be damaged at all. If you guys see where I'm going with that. The Raptors could move over and try and shoot him, but they're far, far away, and this is a wonderful situation because the Angelius can't go after Sevi because of Gaze, and he can't actually kill the Avatar, so that's my solution to Saeryn in this little matchup. And usually the situation is that the Saeryn player has another beast with ranged attack which can actually get rid of Vision, but of course the other way you can to run it is to actually have the choir sing no shooting on the jacks, which helps even further. So unless they've got a magical shot, they're pretty much screwed, which is something I'm very happy about. Blessing taken out one of the Raptors, tried to arc a spell into one of the other ones, I think, but didn't quite manage to have the focus or whatever went on there, but at least one of the Raptors is destroyed. Next photo, the other Raptors moving in to attack their Blessing, but of course my opponent forgetting that I've got Defensive Strike, and with Mat 7 +1 for the eye, the Blessing actually cuts down one of them straight away into close combat, and the other one not doing enough damage to ruin him, so really happy that I've taken out all but one of the Raptors. That's a big thorn out of my side, although if he does kill the Blessing, he's going to be in control of the zone, so I've got to watch that. Next image, the Harrier attempting to carry out that very plan and rushing in here with his Animus up in the back and doing a little bit more damage onto the Blessing. He's quite a tough jack, but against such an onslaught he can't always hope to manage it. I've also pushed the Raptor back with my repulsor shield, so even though I'm engaged with him, he's not engaging me, so to speak. Next image, it's all on. and the Angelius running over to pSeverius, ending his movement closer than he began against the Avatar, so gaze, he's finding a way around that. But of course, feet going up, pSeverius taking no damage here because it's a run move, not a charge, and looking really good here. He's feated, but if I find somewhere around this later on, I should be able to pull the same trick I did before with the vision and actually prevent him from getting the most out of his feet, which should be awesome. So next image, here's the solution. Sevi upkeeps Vision and Gaze of Menoth, and Camp 6 Focus, moving away from the Angelus, taking a free strike. He's armor 20 against booster power 14, takes some damage but not enough to cripple him. After that, the Reckoner has a crack at destroying the Angelus with a shooting shot, but I think I activated my Choir out of activation, so the shooting did very little damage at all. I think I may have even rolled a 111 and missed. Either that or forgot to allocate focus to the Reckoner. In fact, that's exactly what happened. Reckoner got no focus, didn't actually do much damage to the Angelus at all. But as you can see here, the Avatar is enlivened. He's got Vision, he's got Gaze of Menoth, and he's within 8 inches of the Scythian. So the Scythian can't charge him because he's got to go around the obstruction. And he's got Gaze, so he can't go away from the Avatar, so there's only one way around the obstacles. And if he does move around and start to attack the Avatar, you know, I've got Gaze, I've got Enliven, I've got Vision, I've got all sorts of ways around it. So Saeryn's feet turn obviously going to be proving very, very ineffective. Saeryn herself moving out, but Sevi is able to put his feet up, further preventing her to cause damage. The main problem here is, though, on the left, the Blessing of Vengeance, taking more of a pounding from the beasts, and I'll eventually lose them, which will unfortunately give up a control point to my opponent. So next photo, the Angelus now moving over to the Avatar, trying for the armor-piercing attack, and obviously, you know, getting rid of Vision with doing no damage. My opponent, you know, forgot that was even the case. On the left, the Blessing of Vengeance has been destroyed, so I've had to move a Choir into the zone, but my opponent picking up a single control point there. So what my opponent decided to do here, instead of following up with the Angelus, was actually to use Repulsion to push the Avatar back, which is actually a real worry. After I realised that he was able to do that, I actually felt very scared for this game, because it meant that if he decided to continue doing that, all he has to do is actually keep me off the zones and he will win very, very easily. So next photo, my solution, after he used the repulsion here, is to get the Avatar back into the zone. I've got Gaze up, I've put a Vassal in a position where he can't push me out. Sorry, just to recap, what's happened here. If you're looking at the right-hand side of the photo, the Avatar is activated and destroyed the Angelus, but he had respawned, so he respawns behind the barrels, and the Avatar then goes with the Gaze and the Enliven. If he wants to, he can move the Angelus over now and try for a repulsion. So the Reckoner now stands still, boosts a shot at the Angelus, but rolls a terribly, terribly low roll, doesn't actually manage to hit him and kill him. So that's going to be a severe, severe problem here. My opponent's on, I think, 1 control point or 2 control points, couldn't quite remember. But if you look over to the left, I've had to physically run pSeverius into contact with the zone, camping 7 focus. He's going to get beaten on by the Raptor and the 2 light beasts, but if I can stay alive, then I might just have a chance at winning this. But it should be easy enough for the Angelus to actually push the Avatar out of the zone. If you look at the positioning, though, he has to get into a position where he can actually have the Vassal and the Avatar within 2 inches, and then repulse me out 3 inches. And I don't think there was enough room for him to do that. I can't quite remember what the mathematics of it was. Next photo, what happens regardless, and we've skipped 2 turns here, because obviously with the high-stakes final, wasn't taking many photos. I've spent a couple of turns moving the Reckoner around into contact with the zone. Saeryn had an opportunity in 1 turn, and I saw this move, my opponent didn't. He could have run across a charged Acquire member and repulsed Sevi out of the zone, getting the next point. but he didn't see that, and so what happens here is that the Raptor, Shredder, and Harrier are basically boosting attacks and cutting Severy every turn, but he keeps tanking it because he's actually stocking so much focus up, and it got to a point where pSeverius basically dropped all upkeeps except for Defender's Ward, which was on himself, and camped 7, putting him up to a whopping armor 23, I believe it was, and defense 16, and after that nothing could touch him. So on the right hand side of the field, I think the Scythian tried to take me out. In fact, if you go to the next photo, the Scythians tried to move around and kill the Avatar unsuccessfully. The Avatar smashes him, and pSeverius survives all the attacks, and basically I managed to win the game, skin of my teeth basically, and win the whole Highlander tournament, because my opponent basically messed up. He got some of his activations wrong. He kept his Warlock out of range of his beast at one point. I think the Scythian, in a photo that wasn't shown here, didn't quite kill the Avatar and then frenzied. So I managed to pick up a win in the end. What I'll say about this match is that although I played some of the turns very well, I played some of them not so well. My opponent had the opportunity to win, but kind of messed up. It was a bit of a choke from him, unfortunately. But I still would feel confident in a rematch, especially if the rematch was on a table that just had a few bits of linear obstacles and not so much, not so much of this weird terrain. Also, if it wasn't such a tough scenario for me to split my forces on against his list, then I'd have a much better opportunity, because my shooting's a bit better than his. I've got that ranged ashes to ashes and immolation potential, and of course Avatar with vision and gaze and so forth, really wonderful against those Legion beasts. So I felt like it was a good matchup for me. My opponent turned it around with some good play, but then swung it back again with some bad play. So very first War Machine Hordes tournament win. Go and check out a website called Thrallblacks. It's actually on the blog at www.thrallblacks.com, and in the coming week you'll see a lot of photos from that tournament, and there's one of me winning a massive wooden replica sword of E-Striker's sword. So I don't have that photo yet, so I can't post it in the spat rep, but it's a really cool one, so go check it out. And keep watching for the next 7 games of the following Steamroller tournament that takes place on the Saturday and Sunday of the event. This event was only for Good Friday, and it was a standalone. So really enjoyed that. Thanks guys, really appreciate your support.